majority of the people that you see walking around every day, they are great actors. These people are ticking time bombs. A lot of us are waiting for the system to crash so we can stop paying bills and we can stop going to work. But there are other people who are waiting, right? They're waiting for chaos. They're waiting for the unlawfulness so that they can enact all the twisted, dark shit that's in their head. That they waiting to do it. Now, these are your neighbors. This can be your neighbors, your doctors, your lawyers. You feel me? Like, seemingly normal people. But they not all the way there. They waiting on that perfect moment to do everything that they've been wanting to do. And I know y'all be seeing the cases where, you know, a person will go pew pew a target or something. They couldn't wait. They acted on it now. They can't wait. They can't wait. Now, to the women, all that I'm just a girl shit, all that's out the window. Who do y'all think they gonna come after first? Women and children will be the #1 target. Women and children will be the #1 target. Women and children will be the #1 target. The #1 target. All that I'm just a girl, pretty princess, all that shit is out the window, especially if you have children. As a grown woman, you need to know how to defend yourself. And I'm not talking about just with a pew pew. You need to be able to drop a grown ass man to the ground if you need to and run. You feel me? Get your kids. You feel me? You need to be teaching your kids how to survive too. This is the times that we in. This is just the reality, bro. You won't always have a man around you that you can rely on to protect you. So in that case, what are you gonna do? You gonna lay down and give up? No. Know how to fucking defend yourself as a grown woman. And if you got kids, you already need to be physically fit in the first place. Let's not repeat history. All of this stuff coming out about Hurricane Katrina, please do not let all these go in vain, bro. One thing that taught me is that women are extremely vulnerable, women and children. So all that I'm just a girl shit, nah, I ain't with all that. I'm telling y'all, I'm finna get into martial arts and all types of shit. I'm not playing, bro. This shit is not, it's not time to play. It's time to get for real.
It don't matter what you learn. The Most High is not with you. You through any goddamn way. But anyway, I want to say shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Knows in the gospel, broad lifting up the standard of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. The Spirit kind of been waking me up early in the morning. So I saw this video. No, I'm sure a few brothers spoke on it, but I just wanted to speak on it, just to get the spiritual wheels turning for the day. Because, the scriptures say that the prophets rose up early in the morning and speaking these things to warn Israel. And this is a warning to you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and you heathens as well, you women and you children. The Most High is getting ready to do something, man. Now, she made a lot of interesting points, but her perspective on things is totally thwarted because you could take as many martial arts, you can do backflips, you can have a pew-pew, whatever you got to do. But at the end of the day, you women are not, if you don't have a man of the Lord with you, then essentially you screwed, man. Okay, because time and time again, you have these feminists that come on these podcasts and they think that they're going to go head up with men that's been hoarding out the frustration of this wicked system. All right. Like she mentioned, she said that you got people that's waiting on this thing to collapse. And she mentioned that people waiting on the collapse because they're tired of paying rent and bills. But even then, a lot of you just going to get evicted and thrown out of your places, man. Okay. They're just not going to let you sit in some place while, things are, put it to you this way. Prior to the collapse, because we are in a collapse right now, but prior to that, things are going to get so expensive to the point when a full collapse comes, you probably won't even have your place of residence anyway, because you've probably been evicted months prior, you see. But the common mindset is, well, we want a collapse to come because we're tired of paying bills, I'm tired of paying child support, this, and that. But what you don't understand is that come a collapse comes chaos, because the minute the food goes under, the minute the lights cut out, the minute that the banks collapse and people can't get access to the resources, people are gonna start enacting out a purge. Okay, because you have men that's sitting back waiting on this very scenario. Okay, because you have men have dark hearts, man. They have dark minds. Okay, you can never fully understand the dark mind of a man because men, they do grotesque shit, man. They think things, like the scriptures say we should meditate terror on our enemies, man. And the thoughts that come in my mind about putting you heathens in subjection, I don't even speak about it because the average person couldn't handle how dark the mind of man can go, or how dark a man's mind can go. And the time we coming in now, hey, the Lord is going to release that spirit of vengeance on this earth. And we're seeing it. Okay, judgments are going out crazy. I'm talking about one chick, Jake chick, mauled to death by a pit bull 20 minutes straight, ripped her arm off, ripped her insides out. Another situation, Jake, dude went through a windshield, head twisted upside down. Another Jake slumped over in the middle of the street. Another Jake, dude went up to him, put a bullet right in his head. All right. Another situation. It was a case of adultery with this federal judge, and this dude, he shot this judge, then beat him with the rifle, then stabbed him, then cut his dick off and put it in his mouth. You see, so the Lord is brutal judgments are going out because we're in that time. So for her to sit up here and say, well, we need to learn some things. I mean, learn what you got to learn. I mean, it's not a bad idea. But at the end of the day, you women are just going to be vulnerable, like she said, women and kids, because women and kids have always known to have been protected by men. But see, Esau, what he did, he set you women up for the okie doke. Told you were better than a man. Told you didn't need a man. Told you were independent. Told you that feminism was the way. Go and get a degree, your careers. Live independently, free from men. Not telling you the repercussions of that because you've dug yourself so far into the hole to the point men are not going to protect you. Men are not going to thrive in your best interest, but instead they're going to be looking to unalive you or take something that they want from you. Okay, this is why she made the comment that she made. Okay, this ain't going to be no Columbiana or no Wonder Woman time in Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, you women are going to be put in order because you're going to be dreaded with fear because of the type of chaos that's getting ready to transpire on this planet, on this earth, man. So, yeah, you can learn martial arts, you can learn jiu-jitsu, you can learn how to box. And most time women learn these combat sports is because they try to be better than men. But when it comes, push come to shove, they don't know how to use this shit. They don't know how to utilize it in a real life scenario because they're insincere. Okay, women take combat sports for attention and to ultimately elevate with men. They don't take the craft serious. So, yeah, man, she's absolutely on point. Now, there's a concept when we went to war against the Midianites, the Lord told us, he said, look, all the women and children that have known man, put them to death. That's a time of war. But he said, the women that have not known man, keep for yourselves. Take the women, take the children, or take the women and take them and go into them and make them your wives, right? So, similar time approaching, we're in a time of war. Women and children will be top casualties out here because children are defenseless, women are defenseless without any societal standards that protect them. So once this system collapses, feminism goes, child support goes, 911 goes, protection goes. All right, and the simps, they just gonna get done away with because let's face it, simps, they don't have the balls, they don't have the strength and the mental fortitude to fight their way through a civil war, man. It's just not gonna happen. All right, because you got a lot of men that's looking to put you simps in a spirit world as well. So you simps, women and children will be the top 3 casualties out here. All right, so let's get a couple precepts. Not gonna be too long. Actually, I need to try to lay back down and get some sleep, man. I've been up, so I'm always getting woken up at 3 o'clock, man. Between 2 and 4, 3. And they say that's the time when the spirit world and the physical world is most active. Well, the spiritual world, the veil thin. So it's a lot of distractions and so forth, and a lot of spiritual cosmic activity that goes on in this world around that time, man. So a lot of times, man, we're caught in the midst of this shit, and it wakes us up. So you just wake up and pray to Yahweh Shai. Like prime example, a storm is brewing right now, and it wasn't even in the forecast. Just out the blue, But anyway, this is the book of Numbers 31. It says the slaughter of Midian. So we're going to jump around a little bit. But it says, and Yahweh spake to Moses, saying, avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterwards shalt thou be gathered unto thy people. And Moses spake unto the people, saying, arm some yourself unto the war. See, this is a time of war. And let them go against the Midianites and avenge the Lord on Midian. Because remember, the children of Midian, they had us in captivity. All right, they afflicted us. Okay, which the Midianites are just pretty much like of the sons of Ishmael. Pretty much the Ishmaelites, man. You know, which Arab means mixed. It says, and of a tribe 1,000 throughout all the tribes of Israel shall ye send to the war. So that were delivered out of the 1,000 of Israel, and 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. So we was at war in the time of war. And Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 of every tribe, them and the Phinehas, sons of Eleazar the priest, to the war, with only, it says, with the holy instruments and the trumpets to blow in his hand, right? Because the Levites, you know, that we played the tune, you know, because, like, think about it, like, you got war beats that stir up the spirits. Like, a lot of times when you watch them ancient movies, like Gladiator, and you know, they go into war and like 300, you know, and you going into those ancient wars, man. You notice that there was a lot of war beats, a lot of war tunes to pump the adrenaline to get you started, because if you, everything is based on frequencies, man. You know, like certain frequencies get you in an amped up spirit, and you get up and doing punches and kicks and push-ups and shit. And then you got other frequencies that kind of put you in a more calm, mellow mood. And then you got other frequencies that's set to, you know, make you emotional, because everything is frequency based. All right. And we're getting ready to tap into a different frequency once this place collapses. We're going to be locked in. But it says here, and they warred against the Midianites as Yahweh commanded Moses, and they slew all the males. So all the men got put down, and they slew the kings of Midian, besides the rest of them that were slain, namely Evi, and Recom, and Zor, and Hor, and Reba, 5 kings of Midian. Balaam also, the son of Beor, they slew with the sword. It says, and the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives. See, the women were vulnerable because the men were put to death. It tells us in the Apocrypha that the women should mourn having no husbands and having no bridegrooms. So when the men gets taken out, because these jakes are going to get put down. Okay, all these YNs out here and all these simps and these corporate niggas, the Lord's getting ready to take them off the map, man. They're getting ready to be taken off the board. All right, in record numbers. So there's going to be an influx of women running around here not knowing where to go, because the fear of the Lord is going to be in their ass, because they're going to see the mass death. And that's when, you know, us, the men of the Lord, come into play, when, you know, we're going to be able to have the women of our choosing for Isaiah 4:1, when that comes to pass, depending on who the Lord sends in our fold, right? But it reads, it says, and the children of Israel took all the women of the Midian captive, and their little ones, and took the spoils of all their cattle, and all their flocks, and all their goods. So those were spoils of war. All right, like Keisha, she's a spoil of war right now, as we are a nation in exile, facing the punishment of the Most High. Our women are totally spoiled by the heathen. This is why Keisha is a total degenerate, man. All right, and this is why our children are totally degenerates, because we've been conquered. The men have been totally destroyed. The mindsets have been shifted, and now you have a bunch of weak beta males out here that have no backbone, no courage. All right, and the women and children are all over the place. And it says, and they burnt all their cities wherein they dwelt, and all their goodly castles with fire. And they took the spoil and all the prey, both men and of the beasts. And they bought the captives and the prey and the spoils unto Moses and Eleazar the priests, which were Levites. Okay, Eleazar, the order of Aaron. And it says, and unto the congregation of the children of Israel, and unto the camp of the plains of Moab, are by Jordan near Jericho. And Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet without the camp. And Moses was wroth with the officers of the host, with the captains over 1,000 and the captains over hundreds, which came from the battle. And Moses said unto them, have ye saved all the women alive? And he said, behold, right, because women, you know, they're vulnerable. They're the spoils of war. At the end of the day, women are spoils, man. All right, all this independent boss babe nonsense. Look, man, it's coming to a time you women are not going to have a voice out here. All right, Esau has set your ass up. All right, you women are going to learn to get in order. You're going to humble down. And if you don't humble down and you don't get in order, like this woman said, women and children will be the top primary targets in Jacob's trouble. A lot of you just going to get unalive, okay, without remedy. And I'm just being straight. A lot of you, a lot of you are on the chopping block for death. All right. And it is what it is. And you women that's left the men of the Lord, hey, you going to get it the worst. So take heed. Matter of fact, don't even take heed. Just wait for your destruction. And it reads, and it says, behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against Yahweh in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of Yahweh. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that have known man by lying with him. And all these women in America have laid down with multiple men. So off the rip, they're already on a slate. They're already on a chopping block for death, man. Okay, because Yahweh Shai does not take adultery lightly. All right, he does not take being a whore, a slut, a soy boy, a YN, a little demonic ninja. The Lord does not take liking to that, man. All right, and all you women in America, you all have known some type of man, some form of fashion. All right, that's what it says. Now, therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that have known man by lying with him. But all the women and children that have not known the man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves, man. Okay, and that's the point. So women are going to be in the most vulnerable state in children, because most Keishas are sick. Look, they say 60% of you black women are single mothers, man. And 60% of you, probably more than that, you have children out of wedlock from different fathers. So that's already confusion. Okay, what it looks like, and think about it. You have a woman that have 4 different baby daddies, right? What the men look like trying to protect this woman? If anything, they going to try to protect their seeds, and they going to say, fuck this bitch. I want to protect her for her. She's bought in seed by other men. And no man going to protect that. No man going to want to protect that. This is why you're in trouble now, man. All right? But anyway, let's go from here to the book of 2nd Ezra 16. And I'm going to start at verses 1. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. It says, gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair, and beware your children. It says, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. It says, beware your children. And that's one thing the movies don't show you. The movies don't show kids getting jacked up like that. I mean, in recent movies, they show they show kids getting, judged in movies now more than before. But overall, graphic movies, you don't really see kids getting jacked up. And that's one thing they leave out of the movies, because a sensitive subject here in Babylon is women and children. Okay, as long as women and children ain't harmed, everybody's cool. But the minute a kid gets harmed, or like prime example, everybody is tripping on this Epstein shit. The Epstein list. Everybody want to know what happened to these children. But do they really want to know? But it says, gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Beware your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. It says, a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it? And the sword is going to be sent in the form of martial law. Okay, and we already see it with Trump deploying these troops to the different cities in Babylon the Great. All right, federalizing these cities and setting up task force over a particular metropolis where you jakes dwell at the most. Yeah, man, this is not looking too good for you. All right, this is the book of 2nd Ezra 15, and I'm going to start at verses 57. It says here, thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt bow. It says, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thy shall perish with the sword in the field. And you have to ask yourself this too. Women and children outnumber men 10-1. Okay, there's more children and women than men. Period. Because men, they have multiple kids. Some women have 3-4 babies. Some have 2 babies. Men are putting seeds in different women. You may have men that have 10 babies a year because they're jumping around a woman to woman. Okay, so yeah, women and children outnumber us 7-1. So of course they're going to be the biggest casualty. And it says, and they should be in the mountains and should die of hunger, because your kids are going to get starved out, and you're going to resolve to cannibalism. And it says, and they should eat their own flesh and drink their own blood. for the very hunger of bread and thirst of water. Okay, so the famine is coming. So it's gonna get bad, man. All right, it's gonna get real bad real soon. And like we mentioned, don't come around us. All right, because we warned you, Jakes. We told you straightforward time and time again to get right, and you keep playing. So don't come around us. All right, and guess what? We don't feel no type of way about this. It is what it is. Ezekiel 9:4. And Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And if you pay attention, Esau has declared war on your men. Notice the YNs, the troops he's sending into DC, that he's already sent down to DC, they're taking your men off the streets. And when they take all your men off the streets and put them in these concentration camps and unalive them, you just gonna be left to fend for yourself. That's why it says that thy mighty men shall fall in war. So he's already declared war on the man. He's getting them out the way. And then you next. And it says, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. It reads, Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity, but slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. Old and young, maids and little children and women. So, hey, they mentioned children twice. Young children, whether it be teenagers or toddlers, and then little children. And also it says maids and women. So women, they mentioned that twice. And young too goes into them YNs too. You know, them young ninjas coming, they come all the way from the age of 9 to like 22, 23. A YN has a long age between 9 and shit. You got 8-year-olds out here turning it up, man. You know, but slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and began at my sanctuary. It says they began at the ancient house. It says, and they began at the ancient man which were before the house. And the ancient man goes into you elders, you leaders. Okay, a lot of you false leaders in Israel, because you're going to be bereaved of women and children as well. A lot of you Israelites that's in this thing for clout, a lot of your families finna start getting touched too. So, hey, you were warned. But with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you were edified. To the next lesson. Shalom.